Alright. So Kenny, you're probably gonna have to endure this shit. You can do whatever.
No. We're chilling.
So I'm gonna. By the way, if now since you guys are here, if I overstep or if I have any, if you have any questions about like frame data, if you guys have any questions about like bursting, if you have any,
you're asking him about frame data.
I'm not paying attention.
Oh, you're fine. I don't. Like if you guys have any questions, like you don't have to pay attention, not to ask whatever. I just make sure, because it doesn't matter when I explain it, but like when we're like 20 minutes past the part, it's like, wait, why the fuck is that so cheating? And I could actually like explain it before, you know.
No.
Other than that, if you guys have any questions, Kenny knows a little bit more than you, and obviously you, right? So if you have any,
I know. So
I swear to God, you're gonna be like, I'm gonna be at the end of the fucking video, and you're gonna be like, you guys have any questions about anything? What does an auto combo mean? I'm gonna be like, all right,
pretty much guess.
Right?
So
yeah, essentially, right? Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's like if you press 5A like 5 times. So, the game came out like 2.0, and it's not like last patch, where it was like 4 characters came out, and it was like, fucking 4 characters came out, a bunch of nerfs happened, and it's like, whatever. It's like, that's just added to the game. Now, this game 2.0 is literally like a rebranch of the game. It's like they added a bunch of new system mechanics, they removed a bunch of system mechanics, they added 9 new characters, right? And they added like a bunch of buffs and nerfs, and they even changed moves to make it better. Like, for example, one of the characters I'm playing, they literally reworked her fucking 235A, and what I mean by, I know you guys are gonna ask, 235A is, do you know what numpad notation is? So imagine, like on the computers, on desktops, there's like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you're facing forward, numpad notation is essentially what that is. So if I use 2, 3, 6, it's essentially a quarter circle forward. So, yeah, right? You can essentially like that. So if you see, if I do 2, 1, 4, quarter circle back, 4, 1, 2, 3, 6 is a full half circle forward, all that type of stuff. 6, 2, 3 is essentially Dragon Punch, but we don't have to use that in this game. But anyway, so that's essentially like what it means. Essentially, a bunch of shit happened, right? And
some dude can like roll out with the keyboard in these tournaments and be
there's a really good fucking not Guilty Gear. There's a Dragon Ball player who's like top 3 in the world who uses keyboard. He's fucking insane.
Wait,
yeah, it's really good.
Holy shit, I want to be a keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
I want to be a keyboard warrior, dude.
Right?
What the fuck? What did you spend $100 on that fucking big ass shit? And when you got a keyboard,
there's literally not keyboard, but essentially actually people prefer to play on keyboard now. There's something called like how like my arcade stick over yonder. My arcade stick with like the pad and everything, and it's like an actual arcade stick. Yeah. People don't do that anymore. What people do is something called a hitbox, where they essentially remove the Joy-Con and they put 3 buttons instead of like the actual thing. They put 3 buttons. They put left, right, and down, and they don't put jump at all. They put jump as like its own button, right? Oh. And so what they do is they essentially can make quick decisions without having the input of like flick it.
You don't have to flick it.
And it's so good because essentially, for example, like Tekken.
Oh my gosh.
You already know where I'm going.
It's very Tekken, so Tekken.
Yeah, so in Tekken there's this thing called Korean backdashing, where essentially it's like in Korea they fucking do a bunch of like backdashes and then they take a right backdash left, and like with the actual like controller or arcade stick, it's so hard because you essentially have to go like something like that, right?
But
all you have to do is just use 2 buttons.
Yeah,
right?
Okay, yeah.
So you can't do it really for Tekken.
Yeah. What are you talking about? What do you like for what?
I mean, the Korean backdash.
I thought it was for Tekken.
I mean, like, it is for Tekken. Yeah, but like, you can't, I'm trying to say, you can't make...
It's for it, but you can't do it.
I'm talking about like the button.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't do the button.
Yeah, you're right.
Because like, I mean, if you could, I don't, that sort of...
Yeah, it kind of ruins the game. Kind of a little bit, But anyway, that's essentially what it is. Back on the fucking actual game, right? So in this game, they released 9 characters. 9 of these characters, really good. 2 of them are actually being used right now. Akatsuki and fucking Elizabeth, right? We were just talking about how fucking Elizabeth has that fucking crazy bitch smile, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No,
like,
no, she's
four-
not a crazy bitch. She's like a freak.
Oh,
Like,
that's
the
it. She's a
low-key
freak, yeah.
dude.
Is she a low key freak? She doesn't look like.
She's the
Look, maybe you're just like not giving her a chance.
Back on the stupid shit. There's two characters that are played. Asasuki, as what the game says, and Elizabeth. So
Is it? It's Akatsuki.
it's Akatsuki, but in the game it's pronounced Asasuki.
Asasuki.
Akatsuki.
You can
Where's
even hear
the S?
it's
That's a
Akatsuki.
K.
Yeah. So
Oh, is it English?
yeah.
Oh, ew.
Yeah, exactly.
Asatsuki?
It's English.
Akatsuki. That's what it's pronounced.
Asatsuki.
But it's a
Sorry, we're totally off
yes.
topic.
You guys are
Okay,
fine.
yes, but like the Akatsuki.
So
Asakutsu.
there's a lot of mechanical changes, right? Some stuff like grab resets, so not grab resets, but like DP changes, burst changes, auto combo burst, and what's the other one? Anyway, that doesn't really matter. We're not going to really see it.
You
It's
sound
more
well,
janky.
bruh.
Anyway, but the biggest thing, I'm gonna just go with a brief overview of this game. So the meaning of cross tag battle, right? Because the meaning of cross tag battle is essentially the ability to switch with your opponent. Do you want to? Is that a question? Just fucking ask it.
Oh, I was gonna say
Jake's different to high five.
Yeah, dude, he was waiting. Anyway, so it's essentially if you in this game you can call your partner for an assist, and while you call him for an assist, you can essentially switch within your partner, right? In the sense that's essentially the cross, because you can essentially cross combo them, which is the whole idea. And so in this
Working
game,
together.
right? And so essentially in this game, you can essentially cross. There's this in the bar. This ability that you can active switch with your partner. It essentially continues on with that. There's essentially something called a cross combo, which essentially makes your partner invincible, and it'll stay on the screen and it will use all the assists it can while like interchanging. So like if you use like a normal assist, you can use a normal assist, back assist, normal assist, forward assist. Like essentially you can create combos where it's like not possible with two people, and that's essentially what the game is like entitled to. So while I'm saying that, I'm gonna talk about Flux's team. Flux's team is on the left, and then RNGG, my fucking boy, is on the right. Really nice guy. Anyway, so with Elizabeth, like I said, I explained this before, but we'll do this again. If you want me to explain about Yang, about how cool that character is, just fucking let me know.
She's not ugly.
She's very pretty, but a bitch. So we're not gonna. Yeah. So let me tell you about what the fuck she does.
Oh, what's your little thing that you use?
It's Epic Pen.
Oh.
Yeah, so I can fucking draw and shit. I can be like, "Ooh, look, happy face," and then fucking delete, fucking undo and shit. Yeah, it's essentially right. So essentially, Elizabeth is one of the new DLC characters that come out, and she essentially has a gimmick in this game, right? And before I go into this gimmick, do you know about fighting game like neutrality, like blocking? Essentially, is the big thing.
Yeah,
Like you can only block if you crouch. You block body and low. You know that? Okay, that's all I needed to know. So in this game, Elizabeth is like has okay like normals. She has a really good like. For example, she has like a really good move, which is like a fan. She throws like her cards out. She's like, and she like throws her cards out, right? And she goes like this. Stop laughing at me. And like she throws her cards out like a projectile. But the thing is that they come back, right? They come back into her, and it's not a big thing if it was just like, oh no, if she just throws them out like a range attack. But the thing is that if you're blocking it, it brings you towards her. So if I'm just fucking blocking, right, and I'm just like whatever, I'm just gonna be like, oh, I really wish I had a lighter mouse.
Dude, this is just like watching Alice.
So if I'm
so
blocking, right, shut up. You can let him.
I mean, that's what it looks like, man.
So if you're blocking this, it essentially brings the guy to melee distance into like, now you're making me think of League, into actual like attack distance. So essentially, if you're ever in like a sword, in her zone, she essentially brings you closer, which is insanely good. But that's not the big thing, right? That's essentially her only really good normal.
But at that point, you had to do block streams, whatever.
Yeah. You have to make it safe, but that doesn't matter because now I'm already. If I can throw something, it's like a dredge line where if I can throw you and I can bring you back, now I can fucking be like. You know, I can hit
Wouldn't
you.
like Yang fucking clap?
We'll get to that shit. We'll get to that shit because I fucking love Yang. All right. So essentially, she has a gimmick in this game.
That's what it says.
And wow, I fucking bursted the mic now. Anyway, so she only has that move, but all of her moves are like really like okay. They're really good on its like really good at like as combo enders or combo starters, but other than that, they're really bad because once you use it and it connects, it essentially drops the combo. It like ends it, so you can't really do anything after it. So it's really good as a combo ender for damage or a combo starter because it essentially not really as a combo starter. There's only like one good combo starter with her abilities, but essentially that we'll get into that. So the biggest thing about it, we'll get to the only one that really matters, is that her gimmick for this game is essentially called Mind Charge. You guys never played Persona, like probably you. Essentially, the thing, if she gets below 30% HP, she essentially becomes a better, more stupid character. She essentially I told Kenny that in Smash Ultimate and Arsene. Like when you get Arsene and like fucking like her face, like his face like goes across the screen sometimes. It's like Arsene and yells it. It's essentially the same thing in this game where she has like eyes and it goes across the screen.
Jacob, you think that's hot?
Is it?
Eyes going across the screen.
It's like her face model, but like across. It's really weird. It's not even that weird.
Like her face being smeared.
No, it's like her eye level, like right here, and it goes across the screen. Like that's all it is. And essentially makes all her moves fucking retarded. Like, I mean, like, actually, like, so dumb. The biggest example of this is her 236A, which is her, it's essentially like a light laser beam. So in Persona characters have, like, let's say, I got the best example of this. They essentially have stands, right? And Personas are essentially, they use their moves as the game goes on, right? And essentially, while they do this, right, they're like, Elizabeth's like, whatever, I'm gonna just hit people, right? She essentially calls her persona and be like, hey, now I'm here, right? And now I get to fucking use moves while behind you. The biggest one, actually, is the laser beam. Like, this thing right here, it essentially goes full screen. It goes all the way to like half distance of like the vertical input axis, I guess, and essentially for 1 second makes the opponent block, which is like fair, and essentially it makes the screen be very visually intensive, and you are forced to block it unless you take damage. And like you can essentially call like this move, have your partner go in and be like, hey, I'm gonna go hit you now, and essentially active switch and have your partner go attack while this is happening. And because of this, it makes it very hard to hit, because what I was trying to say before is that while you are using this move, you essentially, there's so much visual stimulus right here that you don't know what the fuck is happening. So if I fucking go and be like, hey, I'm gonna block everything from this laser thing, right? While this is happening, like while she's going like, whatever the fuck, right? You're not gonna fucking see what the hell's going on. So if I go and be like, hey, I'm gonna call my assist and be like, yes, now I can hit you for free, you don't know if I'm gonna hit you low or you don't know if I'm gonna hit you high. And if I hit you with any of those and you don't block, you're gonna eat the beam damage and my auto combo damage, right? And with that being said, it's like this move is like really dumb because it happens for like a second or two, like less than a second, but it's very like the charge time on it is very good. So it can't really do that much in terms of like damage, but it makes up for it in utility. Meanwhile, we can go into the actual. What am I trying to say? The actual best part about this, when she mind charges, this beam happens twice in a row. So it goes from once, and then it does a bigger blast, which is like twice, and it does more damage, obviously. because it does it twice and it does it longer, this thing becomes stupid. And there's also a pause, so you can essentially, in between the two shots, obviously, so you can essentially do 1, 2, and then fucking combo it after it. And it's really like oppressive, because if I ever get you in the chance to fucking pull you in and use this move, I can essentially combo out of, use my active switch or use my cross combo and hit you with my other partner for 2 cycles for around 1.5 seconds. You can't move, you can't push block, you essentially have to eat the damage, because I can grab you, I can hit you for overheads, I can hit you for lows, it doesn't matter. Elizabeth is really good. Other than that though, all the moves just get more damage and more utility. Like, for this one move, that there's only one other move that's really good. She essentially turns into like a tornado, right? And she's like, woo, she's on a tornado, and she's like inside, she's like, yay! And this move is plus. Hella plus. Like, this move is like, you can do anything after this move. So it's essentially a homing tracking like move that goes for the opponent no matter what, and it just goes straight, and it can go up, it doesn't matter. And because it goes into this goes up or to the right, it essentially is a free like combo reset. It's not combo reset, but like block stream reset. So if I use this in a move and and after the move ends, I have more, because I have more frame data than you, I'm gonna essentially be able to use my block stream again. So that means I get to fucking pull you with my cards again, right? And that essentially goes back into a loop. And those two moves are the really most important moves about her. And like, after she gets mind charged, this move becomes even more plus, even more damage, but everything else...
Wait, is the whole point is that you lead with Elizabeth, and then you kind of like fish out a combo that works?
She's really good at being a partner. So,
okay.
Because her partner assist, her 6P move, is the laser.
Okay,
actually.
so her assist is literally the laser itself.
Yeah. And that's really good, because if I'm just chasing you down and you just running away from me, I use that shit, you have to block 1. 2, it's when you blocking, you can't move. So I can just mix you up with that. So you're gonna see that with her next character.
So the whole point is using Izayoi, that bitch, to
cross up, essentially. Do highs and lows. We'll get to her in a second. But essentially, after all this is being said, Elizabeth is essentially like... It's essentially more for utility than anything else. She doesn't really do that much damage. She doesn't do really that much anything. But she makes up for it with all of her moves. All the other moves that she get mind charged from doesn't really do anything to just combo enders. They essentially just like do more damage, and that's really about it. So I was trying to explain. So Jacob, remember on that drive? I don't think you were there, but remember on that drive? On that drive home from Xanadu, where I was explaining there is a character. I think it was just you and I.
No, it was
you were him too. Remember there was that character that had like a 1 frame jump and like do an instant overhead. Do you remember that conversation?
Isn't it Naruto?
No, actually. Welcome to Izayoi. No, fuck. Alright, we're almost good. We're good. Anyway, this character, really good. Not really good. She's actually only has 1 useful, as I said. She has an instant overhead. So I'm gonna try to make this as fast as possible, because we've been spending so much time. So, the key here is that she has a 6, she can essentially double dash forward. And it essentially is like, the dash is a, arc line dash that arcs in like a 30-degree direction. So it goes like this, right? So it starts from here, it goes like up, right? And because of that, it makes her airborne, right? But you can essentially do it on frame 1. And that's the big thing, because on frame 1 or frame 2, you can put in an input move. You can put in an input to essentially have the move be an overhead attack. Will you? Kenny's just fucking flinching. Anyway.
Wait, how does the angle go?
It goes, like I said, it's like 30 degrees, so it's like this. It's not that big. So that's the big thing. Since it's low to the ground, you can essentially do a 2 to 3 frame overhead to where it's like, hey, I'm gonna jump real quick and like hit you.
Is it like an uppercut in a way?
It's like a jump. It jumps and it's like it hits you with the foot.
Okay.
The move is like really like.
Quick.
It's the average person reacts to fucking, like I told you, the average person reacts to overheads for about 14 frames. 14 frames is around the decent amount of time where people can be like, that's the move coming out, I can react to it. Imagine that being around 5 frames.
Oh.
That shit. Well, the jump is 1 frame.
Oh.
So the move that comes out is around 2 to 3 frames, so it's like 4 to 5, depending on how fast you do the input, right? So we're not talking about Flux. He pretty much practiced with it, right? Pretty good at it. he can probably do it instantly, right?
Flux on left or right?
Flux is on the left. He has Elizabeth easily. So now, remember what I said about Elizabeth and her fucking projectile beam? That essentially makes it so that I have so much. I can hit you while make you block, and I have the ability to hit you with low and a 1 frame high.
Yeah.
So that shit becomes, hey, if I get you in the block, you're gonna get hit. And if you ever get hit, I can always block and see if you're gonna burst me, right? And that's the shit where this team excels in, because she essentially has a bunch of air mobility and pressure to where you're gonna mess up. I'm just gonna say that's the point of Izayoi. There's nothing really else to this character. She has around a 2 frame low too. I mean, like, she has like an 8 frame low, but that's really like objective. Like, it's not.
So basically,
really good.
Izayoi can like start a combo pretty well because she has very quick.
Exactly, right?
And then you can assist with Elizabeth.
That's why they make us such a good pairing, because they essentially make you block, and then while you're blocking, it's easy to be like high, low, high, low, high, low, high.
Oh, okay.
And
so this is all about combo extending.
Yeah, combo getting. It's about pressure.
Okay.
Because here's the thing about this team: damage, not really that well. Like maybe 6K on a good day, without supers. And we'll talk about the other team. The other team hits you like a fucking truck. But that's essentially what Izayoi does. She has a really good like air mobility with her fucking dash and everything, but other than that, everything else is very standard. But other than that, it's like
Calm down, man. I don't know.
okay, so let me talk about RNGG's team. I'm trying to make this as rapid fire so we can actually get into the game. So this is the other new character. I almost said Akatsuki. Akatsuki, right? Akatsuki is essentially a very, very big pressure character, right? Very big. He essentially has he has a lot of like moves that make you stand and block, but that's not really the big appeal. His big appeal is that he essentially has a Rekka. This Rekka is essentially like Chesto or Sistor from these other games. It's 214B, where it goes like, hey, I'm gonna lift off the ground and hit you once, and go off the ground again, hit you twice. That's not good. Hit you off again, like hit you twice, and then the final one is gonna be an overhead, right? And this is the third hit, and it's a combo, so it goes 1, 2, 3. Essentially, you can do this stuff in the air or on the ground or whatever, and do it as like not a safe option, but as a good option. And here's the problem with this. Like I said, this is an overhead, right?
Wait,
so
can't you keep blocking high?
Yeah.
Because you know it. It's shit.
Yeah. But you can essentially what the idea is, you want to block low until he gets to this, then gets to the end of his combo, because he's gonna have to use this at one point, right? So you essentially gonna be like block low, and then you hear the and on the first or second one you just block high, because that's the only thing that he can do.
Okay.
Right? Other than that, there's a bunch of stuff that he can do. His best thing about this character by like a mile is his DP. Everybody's DP in this game is mapped to like, square and X, right? And everybody has a DP. But his DP is different. It's literally different from everyone else in the cast. You gotta stop.
Go, just keep going. I'm fucking listening, dude.
So his DP is essentially, it's literally like a parry. So literally like a parry. It's literally like a force field. So he goes like ha, and like you have this like little barrier, right? And this barrier is like very good, very good. While this is up, you essentially block projectiles, incomings. What's the other one? Overheads, low hits, and any bursts that come from it. While this is all happening, you have this. It's essentially safe, because essentially this is around like 8 frames, right, of active. But here's the problem: it's only like 13 frames like long. So essentially, you can essentially be like, oh, I missed it. Okay, I'm gonna use it again, because essentially there's like not that many moves have around 5 frames, because there's obviously like a gap, right? There's a 5 frame gap in between both the active frames and the frames that is not there, but he's still doing it. Yeah, right. Sure. So in those 5 frames, wait, that's 6. Wait. Am I dumb? No, there's 5. Yeah, I'm not retarded. So in those, there's not that many moves that have 5 frames, or that are faster than 5 frames. A lot of base like starting moves are gonna be around like 7 frames or 8 frames or something like that. So essentially, he's so good in this aspect because he can just keep fucking spamming, right?
Yeah.
Unless you can time it in between, like if he does it like a third time, doing this, like doing it twice, is essentially safe. Unless you have a move that's like 4 frames or 5 frames, because essentially he can't get hit, and he essentially punishes you, right? We're getting to that, right? So essentially, not only that, because if you're gonna DP stuff, right, you're gonna react to it. It's I can say from experience that when I see this, I obviously, whenever I see a whiff DP, I always go for my biggest punish tool. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't think about it. When you see this, you're obviously gonna go for 5A or 5B, something easy, right? But those moves don't counteract this, because it's obviously less than 5 frames. I mean, it's not
like this unbreakable barrier.
Yeah, it's very, very good, and it's not even doesn't combo into anything.
That's
it's
such
just
a hard counter to the Elizabeth Izayoi thing, because like, okay, let's say you have like light cancer or whatever, right? You just use a block, and then you're like,
well, here's
I
the
can't
thing:
do shit.
it blocks once, right?
Yeah. So you can block the entire
no, you can't,
light stream,
because it's only. Imagine if it's only for 13 frames, it's longer than 13 frames.
Oh shit! Okay.
Right, so that
makes sense.
Right, so it doesn't really counter. It's just like a regular like move sort of stuff.
Oh, I thought you can just keep blocking that shit.
You
like,
can.
What can you do?
There's videos where they literally people just keep DPing stuff, right? And it's just like that's the biggest like idea that this character has, is essentially just being like, hey, I'm gonna keep hitting you for damage. But not only that, right? So this is where we get into like the big problems with this character, right? Okay. So remember what I told you about his other move, his Chesto, which is the 1-2-3 move. Yeah. He can essentially use that in active switch. So while he's like going to fucking kick you, he's like, oh, the fucking chest. He's like, Chesto with an exclamation mark, right? He can essentially call in Yang, his partner, and be like, yo, hey buddy, I'm gonna run up to you, right, and hit you with the fucking low, right? He's gonna poke her leg out and be like, yeah, right? And that's a low. Remember what I told you about the third hit?
Wait, he actually yells out Chesto?
Mm-hmm. Like that?
Dude, that guy looks like...
He's a very nice guy.
He seems like a dutiful dude, you know? Like,
he's a very nice guy, actually.
He wouldn't succumb to the charms of woman type of thing.
Actually, you're 100% right. There's this character named Hilda, and she fucking has bazongas. Like, bazoinks. Like, and she fucking wears it out. And her interaction with her is like, hey, excuse me, miss, can you wear something else? She's like, fuck you. Don't ever call me, tell me what else I can wear. She's like, I think it would be really good in the battle if I don't have to be distracted, you know? I really am sorry to say this. She's like, how rude of you. You know what? I'm gonna kill you after this, and some shit. And it's really, that's the interaction.
Dude, this is some sincere relationship. They should get married.
No.
They should get married.
So, anyway, so remember, I said this is a low, right? And this ends in a high. So, in this case scenario, if you don't push block, this is the literal unblockable scenario. Because you can't block high and low at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? Because of that, it's literally free damage, and it's a really good starter for either one, because 2C is what she's going to use for her low, and Chesto at the end has really high hip pre-rotation, which essentially means that the move does not get neglected by other moves. Right? It's flat. So it does 2,300 damage flat no matter what. And that's why it's really good as a starter.
What the fuck?
Yes. So no matter which one you get hit with, you're gonna get hit.
I'm just gonna spam this shit.
Exactly. And it doesn't cost a meter. That's the big part.
Player.
So that's the big thing. So that's the only things about Akatsuki that really matter.
Okay.
The last part, I already talked about Yang in my other video, but I will explain it in a very, very easy, very, very fast thing. Yang, fuck this character. Fuck this character. I fucking hate this character. This character has essentially Armor City. She essentially has 4 moves that have armor. Imagine Ganondorf fucking Welvin Punch, whatever it's fucking called, but times like 5 with every single move. This character has a move called 5B. Very easy. All she does is hit you. That move, very fast, very long, and does so much damage, right? Just as an example. It's safe on round start, because essentially if I hit you and I hit you with my move, I beat it because I have armor with it. The only problem with this move is that it's no matter if, as long as you're getting hit, the damage is gonna be with you. So for example, if I hit you with like 5A and you hit me with your Yang 5B, but I continue to combo off of it without having a block in between it,
Yeah.
the damage, all the damage of that goes through. So there's multiple videos of
You
for
just
example.
out-muscled the bitch.
Yeah, essentially. But like, there's a lot of videos. I think we're gonna see it that Elizabeth and Yang just fucking, because the beam is always like there. She essentially has to eat the whole beam attack, right? With free, and essentially because of that, she takes like half her health if she ever does that. But she still gets the hit. Not worth it, but it's still definitely a possibility. Anyway, her gimmick in this game, essentially, like Elizabeth, once she hits 33% health, she becomes fucking in Resonance Blaze. Or in fucking I Burn phase. Essentially, all of her moves get better. Literally, every single move gets better, has better knockback, has better power, and has more knockback. So essentially, you can get the combo more. If that happens and you get hit, you're gonna take 10k. It doesn't even matter. While all your move has armor, all your move has fucking great attributes to it. Has overhead mix up with her fucking tackle. We're not gonna talk about it because it's very easy. Anyway. That's essentially the character with fucking Akatsuki. Very easy to fucking do high and low mix up with. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is left side has a very, very, very easy pressure tools to hit you once and you're gonna take damage. But if you get hit with the right team, you're gonna fucking eat a lot of damage because they have a bunch of meter. They essentially eat meter. They don't need to eat meter, but when they do easily like 8k. And that's the best part, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's essentially...
So they kind of like, yeah, they're just pressure bitches.
Yeah.
The right guys, like, the moment I touch you, you're dead.
Yeah, essentially, right? Okay. And we're gonna see this shit.
The range versus...
So, we're gonna fucking this part. Because they're gonna... So, I also know that in this game...
That would be true as fuck. If they reset off of that would be bullshit.
Yeah, plus it's like 2 hour long video.
It's not 2 hours.
It's not like 2 hours.
Jesus, I'm sorry for it, alright?
It's been at least an hour.
Yeah, it's been, but
So you're not gonna edit it, you just post the whole thing.
probably edit a little bit on YouTube.
You'll probably edit it, yeah.
But I don't know what I'm gonna do. But it's just like, I don't know. That team is garbage. Do you want to get something to eat? IHOP? IHOP? IHOP?
I currently have, so basically they're bringing in the new credit card.
Okay, for you.
So I don't have money.
For you.
Really?
Let's go, bro.
Yeah.
It's a present for you actually
Thanks,
doing this for me. So.
You just messed up your video.
Yeah, I did.
I don't-
mess it
He's
up.
like, you messed up my video, here's a present.
No, but like actually, like
Oh,
it's
I
first-
enjoyed this. Yeah,
I would rather do it in video form though, to be honest, because it's like wow.
I guess not.
Yeah, dude.